He is 100% worth it.
He takes it to another level. Oh my God, I just fell in love with it.
Thanks so much, Jay.
Blew my mind. And it worked. I wanted to buy my thing.
Jay is, I would say, the Yoda of sales calls, man.
Just talking to Jay, he was so good at just taking what it is, seeing the opportunity and the value and the real reason we are making it.
Talk to Jay, because he got it. He can definitely help you out.
Talk to Jay. You're going to get a lot. You're going to gain a lot.
I would absolutely recommend him for any position that you have.
Jay's definitely the guy.
Give him the chance, give him the opportunity. You won't regret it.
He's good at what he does, so I highly recommend him, and I would book him before he is fully booked out.
Welcome everyone to the Sales Ninja Show podcast, where we cut through the noise, ditch outdated sales tactics, and show you how to close deals with confidence, strategy, and integrity. I'm Jay Lee, the founder of Sales Ninja, and as a former banker, former introvert, and former pastor, and also high-ticket seven-figure sales ninja, I now help grow and scale businesses without the need for pushy tactics. And that's the heart of the reverse glass selling method. It's a kingdom-driven approach from the Bible, yes, from 1 Peter 3:15, which is built on trust, service, and true connection. My mission is to help 1 million people break the cycle of generational poverty so that you can sell more to give more. Today's guest is someone who went from voiceless and $24,000 in debt to a six-figure business in less than a year. Stefanie Kim is a founder of ASA Marketing Solutions, an AI-powered agency that helps service-based business owners scale by automating lead generation, closing sales, and content creation. In less than 12 months, Stefanie grew her business from the ground up, and now she's helping others do the same by simplifying systems and eliminating busy work. If you're looking to learn how AI and automation can supercharge your business, Stefanie has the blueprint. So let's welcome Stefanie Kim. Hey Stefanie, how are you doing today?
Hey, Ed, thank you for the intro. That was amazing. Like, wow, who is this person?
It's you. You're amazing.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I always say that I'm the biggest hype man for all of my guests, because I think you're amazing. I think people are amazing, and God has gifted you to be amazing, to be great. So thank you for coming on today's Sales Ninja Show podcast. I just actually wanted to dive right in because there's so much I'm intrigued about. I mean, there's so much in common. First of all, you're Korean, I'm Korean. You're a person of faith, I'm a person of faith. Your brother's a pastor, so that's really interesting. And I'm a musician, so I noticed that your voice, I thought you had a cold. So I was just like, I said, are you okay? And you said you lost your voice. So why don't we start from there, and then we can kind of backtrack into how you went from $24,000 into debt to doing over six figures in your business.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's the hardest start. So yes, this is always sound. Every single day I get that. Oh, honey, you sound like you have a cold. Are you sick?
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
This is always sound now. This is actually a good day, believe it or not.
Okay.
But yeah, I used to have a very tonal voice before. I used to run a lot of events and marketing. Front of the house, face of the brand kind of thing. Due to some issues with my previous relationship, it's through domestic violence. Unfortunately, there was some injury to my neck. It's called spasmodic dysphonia, which is where essentially, this is interesting, the muscles around your vocal cords, through the trauma of whether it's from domestic violence or from something else, but through the trauma, your muscles actually retain that memory to protect your vocal cords. So the vibration in my voice triggers the muscles in my around my vocal cords to essentially smother my vocal cords. So even though it's thinking that it's protecting it, it makes it hard for me to speak, especially the longer that I speak, or especially the more I project, the more of a struggle it is to be louder.
Wow.
So yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's kind of how it is. So yeah, I used to be the face of the company, and after the injury and after this, it's been about 5 years now. But yeah, since my voice never kind of returned back, I even got a tonsillectomy, and now I get Botox directly through the throat. And I've shared a couple of pictures with my audience on my Facebook, but through Botox is how it helps me speak a little bit fluidly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when I kind of pivoted my career from front of the house, which I had no choice of because I was essentially demoted without being told I was demoted,
Wow.
to really gaining control of my future, because that really sucked. That really stripped me of my identity, especially of working 2 decades, doing that. So that's where I pivoted and started my own thing.
That's incredible. I mean, I can't even imagine, the trauma and the injury and the identity and how what you went through, and to get to where you are today. I think it's incredible that you have overcome these adversities, the injury to your neck from domestic violence, to learning how to build a business without your voice, without your face. You went from being in debt and struggling to make 6 figures within a year. What were the key steps that helped you turn your life and business around so quickly? Because I mean, doing that in 1 year is kind of unheard of.
Yeah. It honestly, it really comes down to the mindset. So what got me into that is after I came back to work, after I had a tonsillectomy, and I just had a kid around that time too, coming back to working, completely being removed from my position. I'm like, you know what, this sucks. I want to learn how to make money online. I want to learn how I can make money without being in an office and working for someone else tirelessly. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. And to be treated like that, just being repositioned in a company that suited their needs, and again, completely stripping me from my personal career goals. So that's where I started to invest in different coaching, different courses, different mentorships. And what I can identify now was the key factor of how I failed, or why I failed in those things, is because I had way too many things going on. Like, I wanted that quick accelerated way of, okay, this coach can help me with this course can help me with this, and I can do all that, and I just want to make $5,000 a month. That's it, not a big deal. And yeah, it was a big deal because that was just money down the hole. My mindset wasn't there either, because obviously I had my corporate job and tried to make it. I have 5 kids, so being a single parent to 5 kids, leaving a financially dependent relationship, because even with my job, my ex wasn't making double what I was making. So it came to the point where I had to start donating plasma after my divorce, plus having 4 jobs.
What?
Including my corporate job. So it got to the point, and honestly, even with all those jobs and donating plasma, all that stuff, the breaking point for me was being repositioned for a company that worked so hard to get respect from. That was, for some reason, the fire under my ass to take control of my own course.
Wow. So what a crazy story. So if I heard you properly, 5 kids, I think you said 4 jobs, donating plasma after divorce, ex-husband making double, getting demoted from a job that you put 60 to 70 hours a week, and being stripped of that. That's a lot of stuff. First of all, 5 kids. I mean, I've got 3, and I'm like, that's a handful. Well done.
They're amazing. They're so great. And yeah, I mean, working so much kind of taught them to be independent. Like, my kids they're not pampered. They're not not stuck to my hip. They're very independent. They're self-reliant, and obviously I want to be there for them, but they come to me. They really need help with something. So, but they're amazing. I've definitely been blessed beyond measure when it comes to kids.
What's the range of the age of your 5 kids?
I have a 23-year-old down to a 3-year-old.
What?
Yeah. So 23, 17, 16, 10, and 3.
And you have full custody?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, 23 is like, I can't even imagine you having a child that old. That's the Asian genes probably. And then having a child that young at 3 is like starting over again, right? It's like,
yes.
I mean, obviously they're out of diapers, but they're still toddlers. So it's like, that's a huge, I mean, the
That's a lot of
23-year-old can be
energy.
the 23-year-old can be the parent for the 3-year-old.
I know, right? But I'm okay with being grandma at this point. That would be a lot of fun.
You could be.
Kids.
Okay,
I'd be okay with
incredible.
that.
So, oh gosh, I mean, there's so much in here. Donating plasma after the divorce is because to get more money to provide for the children, to put food on the table. Was that what that was, or?
Yeah. I have a ridiculous, irrational fear of needles, but I was to that breaking point that I needed something. Like, I need to, because if anything were to happen, whether it's an unexpected hospital bill or unexpected whatever, I wouldn't be able to pay that. So it was 4 jobs in combination plus the plasma donation to be able to stay livable, and then to be able to stack away $100, maybe $200 a month in emergency funds.
Wow.
And I know for some people that's not a lot of money, but it's better than nothing, and it's better than going in the hole when something unexpected happens.
So you've built a successful business in under a year, again, which is it's wild. So let me ask you this, like, I mean, and you didn't even have a voice. What were the biggest challenges you faced in scaling so rapidly, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, it came down to, so I did finally find a course that worked for me. It was Adrian Bambila's, it was a 90-day scholarship program where he just teaches you the fundamentals of how to position yourself online through various different ways, different avenues of how you can approach things.
And who was that? Who is the person?
Adrian Brambila. So he's the founder of like the Brambila method. He's a coach and he's an author.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's known for like, I followed him when the Van Life saga. So he's a super affiliate, and he garnished like 1.6 million by living in a van for a year. So yeah, so again, that lifestyle, previous me without the kids, that's a lifestyle I would have loved to have, is just being in a van, being able to be sustained with, some sort of income, but being able to travel the world or travel at least across the US. That was my life that I wanted. So that's how I got to follow him, and then his courses and that kind of stuff. So so yeah, with that, I know what I really loved about it is he did develop like a community of people just like me who just wanted something out of where they were. And collectively, I think because we had that mutual mindset, like we need to do something, or, we're not happy with where we're at. Like, what are our options? Let's work together. Let's support each other. Let's, as we were learning how to do things by applying things, we would share those ideas with each other. And so it really became a community. And that's how I was able to, again, share my journey a little bit more, share my experiences a little bit more, because I do have a marketing background. I do have an operations background. So being able to take those experiences and that knowledge and help other people to help them position themselves online as well is really kind of what got me my confidence little by little over the last year. It's not quite there yet, but I'm getting there.
Amazing. So what baffles me is how you go from $24,000 in debt, voiceless, traumatic experiences, to building a six-figure business. So was in addition to joining this mastermind, in addition to having this community where you can share your story, share your ideas, you had a marketing automations background. Was it like 60 hours of outreach? Was it like getting doing automations to do endless DMs to get all your clients? What was the secret?
At this point, I wasn't even doing automations yet. I shared with you before, I don't have a tech background. I have no experience outside of like in the corporate setting using Salesforce or HubSpot to update client information, or following that relationship, the journey of our clients. But actually doing any sort of workflows or setups or tech stacking, zero experience, zero knowledge. I didn't even know what tech stack was up until about a year ago.
Wow.
So yeah, it really came down to being diligent while I was working my corporate jobs and my other jobs. Was when I started really being committed to myself and my success. I started taking my lunch breaks. I started getting up a couple hours early before my kids got up for school, and I would be up until about 2 o'clock in the morning. So these were the sacrifices that I would make. Absolutely, because I needed to do something, because no one can sustain a livelihood working 4 hours or 4 jobs, and especially when they have kids that they do want to spend time with. And that's really what resonates with me with my clients. They're burnt out. They're working. They're business owners. They're entrepreneurs. They're constantly running their business, but then they're sacrificing time with their family. And obviously, any family member, any parent or grandparent even, no one wants to sacrifice time for their family. But they feel like they have to. They feel like they have, it's almost like they feel like they have a responsibility to their business ahead of their family, even though no one wants to admit that.
Yeah, very true.
That's not how it should be.
I think that's amazing that, even your mindset is that commitment of, survival to, thriving, waking up a couple of hours before, sacrificing your sleep at night. How does one like yourself, for people who are listening that are maybe in a similar situation, similar story, but how do you avoid burnout when you're probably not sleeping a lot?
No, I definitely was, excuse my language, dead ass tired a lot.
Yeah.
I would make that up during the weekends, and I would make that up where I could. I mean, there was definitely times that I had to take a power nap, 15, half an hour power nap. I did sometimes at lunch, go to my car and took a nap during my corporate job, because that's how burnt out I was. But that drive that I was so done sacrificing time with my kids because I had to work so much, and even with 4 jobs, I was still hard to make it by, because obviously you have a corporate job, but then you're taking these littler jobs that, isn't a full salary, but they are stacked enough where you can, get by. Obviously I needed to do something, learn higher income skills so I can stop with the lower income work or jobs. And I was kind of an epiphany moment too, because through the course, obviously we started talking about like learn higher income skills. What are the top skills that you can learn? Obviously it's, tech and automations. Sales is obviously a huge one, as you know, because what drives a business success is through sales of the product, sales of the service, whatever. And it's a huge fundamental of a business when it comes to how does the business succeed. It's based off of what their sales are and what their marketing strategies are. Because really, a lot of people can just be behind the business, doing administrative things, doing the things to help the operation, but is that moving the needle forward to scaling? No, it's sales and marketing that moves that needle forward to scaling and thriving and continuous growth.
I can't even imagine as a single mom with 5 children. Like when my wife is away and I've got 3 kids, I'm like, even for an evening or a couple hours, I'm like, help, help, help. How do we not, how do these kids survive, until their mom comes home, right? So kudos to you, hats off to you for, raising 5 amazing children from the ages of 3 to 23. That's incredible. Working 4 jobs, giving, donating blood plasma and, having a corporate job, sleeping, when you can during your, lunch breaks in the car. Like that is incredible. I think you have an incredible story. There should be a Netflix documentary about you, I think, right? That's a prophetic call. Just say it was said here on Wednesday, August the 6th, 2025, Netflix documentary. Yeah, it'll be called Voiceless, right?
Yeah.
And then giving a voice to the voiceless. Anyway, so incredible. So I'm very curious, like, because I don't know many people that have achieved what you have in that short time, negative 24K to 260K in 12 months. But what's actually even more interesting to me is you without that like tech automation background and not having that skill set, you said learning higher income skills. How did you put together an AI agency, learn the stuff and actually market and sell it and then deliver on it? That to me seems like a gap.
Great question. Yes. So when I started that 90-day journey, one of the courses was about Upwork, how you freelance, how you be a contractor. So back in my younger years, I did have a modeling career. I did do a lot of brand ambassador work. So I'm familiar with the concept of contract work, being able to represent and, do fulfillment as a contractor. So what I learned is how to position myself in regards to what I was doing. So operations and administrative work is what I started out with. Because, again, I still had full-time jobs. So I wanted to position myself where I could get these easy wins to build my credibility online. Because obviously that's a huge struggle when you're trying to make it online, is building that credibility. Because obviously no one wants to believe someone. You can't believe someone who doesn't have anything to show for it, really, to not have the testimonials, to not have the case studies, whatnot. So I took these little gigs to start building my portfolio. And so as I had serviced more clients and got more testimonials and case studies, I continuously upgraded my online presence, my positioning online with Upwork and Shout and People Per Hour and Fiverr. So I started to broaden my presence, and the more clients I got, the more things, testimonials, and case studies I got, to now, obviously, what was that? I started that November 2023. By February of 2024, I had 2 consecutive $20,000 per month, which at that point I'm like, okay, this is sustainable. I quit my corporate job and a lot of jobs. By
How did that feel?
Liberating. It was, again, they shuffled me around to what suited their needs, and being able to sit back. And obviously I'm professional always, even though I had that little cattiness in the back of my head. But it was, I started my own business. Thank you for the opportunity, but I'm going to go my own way. So yeah, by March, I quit my jobs, being able to work full time as an independent contractor, and have more time freedom at that point, because I'm no longer away from home. I'm home with my kids, servicing my clients remotely. And that's when I started, because I had more time on my hands, even though I had a bunch of clients. That's when I started diving into what AI is, how it can help businesses, entrepreneurs, And because I already had a pipeline of clients from Upwork, being
That's
able
interesting.
to convert them, because obviously I already know what their pain points are. I know
Yeah.
what the next are.
Interesting. That's a
That's
lead
where,
gen
like, hey,
strategy.
I white labeled high level. I'm not using this specifically and only for, at this time, coaches. Would you mind testing the software out for me to make sure that it is a good fit for me and obviously for you? So that's where I started to get into owning a tech company, ASA Marketing Solutions. For the software, it's ASA Solutions, but I also offer services in regards to the content creation and management and that kind of stuff as well.
Oh, is that also in the agency? Is you also
That's
create
part of the
content for you?
conversation as needed. So yeah, a big part is we offer a bunch of other things as well, but it's based off of the conversation from a discovery call. Because obviously I can show you a software which can be comparable to Salesforce, which is obviously an enterprise corporate system because I've used it. But I don't believe in getting too far into the weeds, throwing a bunch of features at you that doesn't apply to what you actually need or want. That is such a big deterrent and kind of a, oh yeah, I think that's the best word, a deterrent in the conversation when I'm like constantly throwing different features at you that just doesn't apply to you, you know? And I don't treat my clients like they're like everyone else in their industry. I actually teach, converse with them and treat them like they're one of a kind. They have a one of a kind problem. They have a one of a kind, you know, or I have a one of a kind solution to be a solution to their problem. So it's really part of the conversation, listening and being empathetic to what they're dealing with, and then being able to respond appropriately, specific to their needs.
So is it a full stack digital marketing agency?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys run ads as well or not?
Yes, I do have a team of professional specific to Meta and Google Ads.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what they do. So, you know, with my background and experience, you can't wear too many hats because you're not going to be an expert at anything. You're just going to be pretty okay at a bunch of different things. So my team is consistent of experts in specific fields, and I'm pretty proud of that. I love it.
Amazing. Let's go to some case studies or best case scenarios. I know I see some here because people who are listening that may want to work with you be like, well, I got a lead gen problem, or I got a sales problem, or I got an automations problem, or I got all the above problem. What can I expect when working with you if I've only got like 5 book calls in the last month and I haven't been able to close, more than 10% of them?
Yeah, it's again part of the conversation, understanding what the current state is, what is being attempted, what are the different channels being used for, whether it's organic or paid marketing, and what the sales strategy is. One of my biggest wins and a featured case study is through Upwork. A coach came to me saying he needs help with operations. He just launched or is launching a new course, and the upsell is the $3,000 per month mentorship program as well. So that was being launched in August. Again, this is in 2024. And with the ads on different platforms of YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, those were the only 3 platforms that we were running ads on, and it was through a VSL. Those leads would, or those VSLs would be clickable to a form, which was part of the high-level platform. And I was able to automate every single touch point from the lead generation to the sale within 5 minutes. And the coach, he traveled the world. He was never online. And to be able to generate $1.5 million in sales in 9 months after the course launch. Yep. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was wild. So
that's insane.
Being able to, so we had all his import, which again was pre-recorded, was his video sales letter, and being able to create a form with that sales letter and carrying that client journey or carrying that lead to client journey with automations and a conversation AI bot to reply to unique messages from these leads who were inquiring different things. Yeah, and he didn't have to be online. That's where I'm like, you know what, I can do this. And he was my first AI client.
Really?
So, yeah.
So that was like a pilot test.
It was, and what I loved about him, because he asked me to do integrations, because at the time he had, because he was told to by other coaches that he should have like 13 other systems. So he had the Calendly, he had, PandaDocs. He had a bunch of other tools.
Yeah.
He didn't use half of them because he didn't need to, but he wanted the subscription anyway. And to be able to being able to integrate a lot of those tools into High Level. And then as I was getting used to High Level, because again, I'm learning as I'm going. So being able to identify the different features of High Level, like we can replace this, it does a better job. We can replace this because that removes the gap of, if the system updates doesn't work with High Level, which is where we're controlling your pipeline, we can remove that. And then, so we ended up saving him over $8,000 a month just in subscription costs for tools.
That much?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Because it was part of usage. So it's not only subscription costs, but it's also usage costs as well.
I see.
Which stacks up too. So I remember working a couple of my corporate jobs. We had HubSpot. So you have the monthly package, which was up to like $1,000, couple thousand a month just for the software. But because we had over 800,000 email list.
Yeah.
It was an additional.
Did you say 800,000?
Yeah. Again, we're talking about corporate. So corporate.
Oh gosh.
But with that was another several thousand a month just in usage charges for all that data. So yeah, and that's what I love about launching ASA Solutions, which is just the software. If my clients just want the software because they have a sales team or they have a marketing team, they just need a one unified system to control, their pipelines and their project management, that kind of stuff. So ASA Solution in and of itself is able to do all that, plus with the enhancement of AI and automations and bots and voice agents. And it's been a lot of fun learning the tech side of things. I never knew that I would be so excited when talking about data and numbers, and it's cool. I love it.
That's incredible. It's unfathomable the speed of your learning, and while you're doing it and delivering and kind of like taking massive imperfect action, which is what I teach to all my clients. But you literally take faith in actions and kind of like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's be, problem solvers. Let's figure out what's broken and how to fix it and how do we do this better. Like that kind of hunger and drive, and which comes from, your many years of, hardships and abuse and trauma, has prepared you for such a time as this. So how do you guide other entrepreneurs to align their purpose and with their business goals and scale authentically?
Well, I like that word authentically, so many people, and I'm guilty of this too, of trying to take that cheat code or that shortcut, trying to copy other people's way of doing things. And that's why I got into $24,000 in debt in courses and mentorship, because it worked for them. But I am unique to them. I have a voice disability. I have anxiety issues. I am a massive introvert. Like, I'm so uncomfortable right now, but
really?
passion, that's okay.
Okay.
And even with doing my events and promotions where I did have to be the front, the passion I have for sharing really awesome stuff with people overcomes my fear of public speaking, or overcomes my fear of just putting myself out there. And when you are able to bypass your personal blocks, that's how you succeed, is to be able to break down your own personal barriers when you're authentic and true to yourself, that you have something great to share. You have something great to provide value to people. And that's a big thing, especially with my clients, of what makes me unique from everyone else that does exactly what I do is, not only do you give me is 100% invested and committed to your success, because I believe in what you're doing is making an impact. And I want to be part of that success. I want to be part of your milestone. And in such a minute way, being able to impact your clients through, supporting you with what I do as an expertise, allowing you to do what you do as an expertise. So when I teach my students, because I do coach a little bit, and I don't like to say coaching because I don't believe like I'm that educated, I guess, because again, I've been learning as I'm going, but through what I've gone through and the learnings that I've collected over these last year and a half, going on 2 years, is everyone has their own way of doing things. So let's tap into your strengths. Let's identify your weaknesses so those can eventually become your strengths. And how can you connect with the people that you want to serve? And don't be pitchy, don't be salesy, be true and authentic of the value that you're providing. And that is the sale, not your service, not your your course or whatever. It's you. You are what you're selling. And
I love that.
Authentic value that you're providing.
Love that. We also talked about, our faith taking, an important place in our lives and in our, business and in our relationships, with 5 children and going through that trauma and working 4 jobs and, donating blood and trying to figure out where to make ends meet. I don't know if there was a season where, it was like, God, what are you doing? If there's an anger season or frustration, and like, how do I make ends meet? So how did faith, play a role in some of those hardships and the seasons that were, like dry, and how did that help you where you are today?
Absolutely. I had doubt that God's I had doubt that I was one of his kids, that I was one of his children, because of sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, because of what I've gone through, and I've put myself in some positions that were questionable, and I know were against my better judgments, but things that were out of my control in regards to like how my marriage spiraled and how I became a single parent to kids, and not knowing how to provide for them, especially when I wasn't a financially dependent relationship. So that question was like, how could you let this happen to me? Like, why? And then I stopped blaming and start releasing and asking for guidance. And the strength just, but just the strength. So I wanted to bring that circle for my kids. That's why I left. And oddly, I was thinking about going back just because the comfort. The kids need a balanced family. Oh yeah, but just it's amazing how your mind goes through all these. You're questioning yourself, even though it was bad. It wasn't. It could have been worse. That's how you justify certain things. It's when I finally released and stopped taking control and trying to take control of situations. That's when things started to fall into place. That's when opportunities started to open. That's when I put 100% faith instead of trying to take control and fill in what I couldn't control into faith. Just releasing is when things turned around. And that's when my heart healed. That's when I let go of the anger and the resentment and the hate. Even though when we went through stuff, my ex isn't a bad person. Unfortunately, it's a action and passion of we were already going through. I had asked for a divorce at that time, and that's when things spiraled. So it's now we're amicable. We talk quite frequently. Absolutely.
Wow.
And, unfortunately, he's going through some circles himself with alcoholism and not being able to stop that. So he has his own demons, and I obviously, for the best for our mutual kids and for himself, I pray for him, and I hope he can get through his own demons. Because that's when his life will turn around, and that's for the betterment of himself, but people around him as a whole too.
I think that's incredible. The maturity and character that you have through the hardships and the circumstances that you've gone through, that, as your ex is also going and fighting his own demons and going through alcoholism, that, you can have a relationship that's amicable and that you can have a heart to pray. And not only just that, forgiving him and releasing and letting go of anger, resentment, hate, and then praying for them. Like that's incredible. That kind of heart is what God calls us to be and do, but doing that is very different from wanting to do it. So I think that's incredible that you have that kind of heart. We are actually running out of a time, and this is such a precious moment that we have here to share your story, your journey, your hardships, and how you have overcome them and how you are overcoming them. It's a present active indicative where we're not out of the mud yet. We're working our way through, and I love your driven ability to say, like, I'm working things out, I'm learning as I go. And I think that's what makes you so successful. And when I say success, it's not just monetary. Success is like, and wealth can be like, you have 5 amazing children, you have a talking relationship with your ex that brought violence. You're gaining your voice back in so many ways, and you're making a huge impact. So I want to ask you to share, your gift that you're giving to the audience here, the 30-day free trial. Explain what that is. I'm going to do a screen share, and then I'm going to do a lightning round to kind of get to know Stefanie Kim.
Sure. Yeah, what I'm offering to your audience is a 30-day free trial of my software program, completely tailored and specific to service providers. So again, my biggest how I got my first clients, whether it's through Upwork or service providers, whether they're coaches, roofers, fencers, home remodelers. So my system is completely custom to that service industry. So yeah, with that, it's a 30-day free trial. So you can, or they can actually see how AI and automations will help them up to 18 hours per week, just on administrative things, whether it's bookings or callings or follow-ups or lead management. There's automation for that, and I can definitely do that for you. So with that, we do a custom setup fee. Usually it's $2,800 just for the custom setup, which is branded to your business. So as your clients come in, you have your own brand, you have your own email system, you have your own phone system to collect every single lead that comes in through every different little pipelines that there is. And yeah, that's what's going on.
Wow, that's amazing. So you guys have heard it from Stefanie that if you're looking for ways to cut, buy back your time to get freedom, to maximize your revenue, to cut overhead, and use this smart AI marketing solutions. She's not just giving you a 7-day trial, 14-day trial. She's giving you a 30-day trial and also waiving the $2,800 setup fee. So thank you so much for that amazing gift. So you guys can go to that link in the show notes below. And right now we're going to do a speed round before we come to a close. It's a lightning round getting to know Stefanie. So morning, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What does your typical morning look like, especially as a busy entrepreneur and a mom of 5?
I'm usually up by 6, 7 o'clock. I like to ease into my morning. I have my coffee and I enjoy my kids getting up at their own pace, especially during the summertime. I then get down to the grind. I follow up with clients. I do team huddles about 4 hours a day, 3 times a week. I have Wednesday and Fridays off so I can focus on my kids, to take them out to the parks, take them out on adventures.
Wednesday and Friday off?
Yeah.
So you work 3 days,
awesome.
Monday,
Yep.
Tuesday,
Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays.
Thursday?
Yep.
And you don't work weekends?
No.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Favorite AI tool?
Favorite AI tool is High Level. It's my white branded ASA solutions, but it's High Level. But it's, again, it's cutting through the weeds of the different, like, thousands of different capabilities that High Level offers, condensed down to what's consumable and applicable to my service providers.
Do you have a personal quote or a Bible verse that keeps you motivated and focused, especially when facing challenges?
Oh, yes. Hold on. There is, bear with me. It's a quote that's actually part of my tagline. And
Was it?
yes, and my website. The greatest wealth is created by being of service to others, by Robin Sharma. And again, bringing value and adding value to people's lives is what I aim to achieve.
I actually had an opportunity to meet him when I was working at the bank.
Yeah.
An incredible guy. Didn't he write something like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
That deeply resonates with me. That's the biggest thing I want to leave. If I were to die tomorrow, I'm hoping someone will remember me based off of the value that I provided to their lives.
I love that. Last question here is, what's something that would surprise your followers or clients outside of your business that they don't know about for Stefanie Kim?
Oh gosh, it can get spicy here. We'll keep it non-spicy, but so I'm closer to 50 than I am to my 30s, and my biggest, outside of working and helping, my biggest passion is motorcycles. I love to travel. Yeah, I love to ride. I love my motorcycle, and when I hit that $1 million mark, I am buying Keanu Reeves, he has a motorcycle line. I'm buying one of his bikes. It's not cheap, but that is going to be my personal reward once I hit that 1 million mark.
And what is the cost of the Keanu Reeves motorcycle line?
I want to say the lowest was like 37,000.
Okay. What a goal to achieve for. And, you know, Keanu Reeves is a Canadian guy who's a very humble guy who is seen giving and impacting and, you know, staying away from the limelight, even though he's a superstar. And the fact that he's not trying to be a superstar is what makes him a better superstar. And I think that kind of resonates with who you are and what you're doing. So I want to thank you, Stefanie, for this incredible interview and for your time. I'd love to do a part 2 because there's so many more questions that I had that we ran out of time on. What are some last words or a piece of advice that you give to someone who is looking to achieve growth without burning out?
Well, one, it's achievable. But what does that mean for you? So again, stop trying to copy everyone else. Stop trying to do what everyone else is doing. Do what's right for you based off of what your goals are, what your capabilities are, really. And it can happen. And again, it's also partnering with the right people who has your best interest, your best judgment in mind. And stop trying to sell you on the latest and greatest in how they would do things. It's you're unique. You have a unique position. So let's highlight it, and you'll do great things. Like there's nothing. People say, "Oh no, you're special." No, there's nothing really special about me. I'm like everyone else. I am normal. I have the same struggles, and as everyone else. What has got me to where I am is I didn't quit. Like there was no quitting for me. I had such a desire to make something work for my time freedom with my kids. And because I didn't quit, this is where I am. And now I'm able to pass my experience and my knowledge to people who are thriving and wanting to do the same thing. And there's absolutely no gatekeeping with me. Like I believe that the successful is big enough for everyone who puts in the work to be here.
Wow, well said. So you've heard it, guys. You're unique. You have a message, and anything that you want to put your mind to is achievable. Partnering with the right people, you can do great things. I think one of the greatest lessons I've heard out of many gold nuggets that you shared is your mindset, and you're willing to push past your quit and having such a desire to make something work. So you inspire me, Stefanie. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you guys are looking to get on the Sales Ninja Show podcast and you are a multi-6 or 7+ figure entrepreneur, comment podcast to apply, and we'll see if you're a good fit for this show. And again, we are here to help you to sell more, to give more. Thank you, Stefanie. Until the next time, have a great day. Bye.
Massive.